My window seat turned into a nightmare flight, and one mom thought it was all my fault. I was flying alone for the first time in months, and all I wanted was a quiet trip. I had paid extra for a window seat because I wanted to relax, put on my headphones, and enjoy the flight in peace. Just before boarding ended, a woman rushed onto the plane with her young son, who looked about 6 years old. The second he saw me sitting by the window, he pointed at me and shouted, "I want that seat." His mother gave me a forced smile and asked if I would switch seats because her son needed the window seat. I politely told her no because I had paid extra for it. Her smile instantly faded. "Well, he's not going to stop," she warned. A moment later, the boy started crying and screaming. Instead of correcting him, she sat down and started scrolling through her phone. For the next several minutes, he kicked seats, whined loudly, and kept reaching toward my window while everyone around us stared. Eventually, a flight attendant came over and asked if everything was okay. Before I could answer, the mother said, "She won't let my son have the window seat, and now he's upset." I couldn't believe it. I calmly explained that I had paid for the seat, and the flight attendant immediately agreed that I had every right to keep it. The mother sighed dramatically as if I were the unreasonable one. After takeoff, I put on my headphones and tried to ignore the situation. That lasted only a few minutes before I felt something sticky hit my arm. I looked down and saw juice dripping onto my sleeve. The little boy was intentionally squeezing his juice box toward me. I told his mother what happened, but without even looking up from her phone, she simply said, "Ethan, don't waste your drink." No apology, no concern, nothing. Later, I placed my phone on the tray table while checking a message. Before I could react, the boy reached over, grabbed it, and dropped it onto the floor. The loud crack made my heart sink. I stood up and told the mother this needed to stop. She finally looked at me and asked why I was yelling at a child. I reminded her that her child had just thrown my phone. She rolled her eyes and replied, "He's bored. It's a long flight," as if that somehow made it acceptable. A man sitting across the aisle finally spoke up and told her she needed to control her son. She instantly snapped back, saying he was just a kid and everyone else should be more understanding. Then came the moment that made the entire row go silent. The boy reached toward my tray table, grabbed my full cup of water, looked directly into my eyes, and slowly poured it into my lap. I jumped up completely soaked and asked if she was serious. The mother immediately claimed it was an accident, but everyone had just watched it happen. A flight attendant rushed over. Before I could explain, the man across the aisle told her he had been watching the entire time and that the child was clearly doing everything on purpose. Several nearby passengers nodded in agreement. The flight attendant's expression immediately changed. She firmly told the mother that she and her son needed to come with her. The mother crossed her arms and refused. Moments later, a second flight attendant arrived and calmly informed her that she could either move voluntarily or have security meet the plane when it landed. That finally got her attention. She grabbed her bag, yanked her son out of the seat, and stormed toward the back of the aircraft while loudly complaining about how ridiculous the airline was. For the first time all flight, I finally had some peace. Unfortunately, the drama wasn't over. About an hour later, shouting erupted from the rear of the plane. Flight attendants rushed down the aisle. Apparently, while his mother was in the restroom, the boy had opened an overhead compartment, causing several heavy suitcases to come crashing down. One of them even struck a passenger in the head. By the time we landed, airport security was already waiting at the gate. As I walked off the plane, I passed their row. The boy was finally quiet, but his mother was still arguing with airline staff and insisting she had done nothing wrong. I didn't say a word. I simply walked away because that flight taught me something I'll never forget. Sometimes the biggest problem isn't the child, it's the parent who refuses to be one.